How Boundaries Can Transform Your Marriage. Insights from Boundaries in Marriage by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. Boundaries in Marriage. The Secret to Healthy Relationships. Hi everyone. Welcome back to Beyond Feelings TV, where we break down the best relationship advice to help you build stronger connections and thrive in love. Today, we're diving into Boundaries in Marriage by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend, a book that might just change the way you see your marriage. This book teaches us that love isn't about sacrificing everything or tolerating bad behavior. Instead, it's about creating boundaries that protect your marriage and allow it to flourish. If you've ever felt frustrated, overwhelmed, or disconnected in your relationship, this video is for you. Let's get started. What are boundaries? Before we dive into the book, let's talk about what boundaries actually mean. According to Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend, boundaries are essentially rules or limits that define what's acceptable in your relationship. They help you take responsibility for your actions, communicate your needs, and protect your emotional well-being. Think of boundaries as a fence around your yard. You're not blocking anyone out, but you're saying, "This is my space. I'm responsible for what happens here." In marriage, boundaries allow both partners to feel safe, respected, and understood. Why are boundaries important in marriage? So, why are boundaries so crucial? Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend explain that without boundaries, marriages often fall into unhealthy patterns, like resentment, overdependence, or even emotional disconnection. For example, if one partner never expresses their needs, they might feel neglected or taken for granted. And if the other partner tries to control or fix everything, they might feel burned out or frustrated. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about creating healthy rules for how you and your partner interact. They ensure that both of you can express your feelings, respect each other's limits, and work together as a team. Key lessons from the book. Now that we understand boundaries, let's dive into some key lessons from Boundaries in Marriage. These insights are packed with practical advice you can apply to your relationship today. Lesson 1. Take responsibility for yourself. The first major lesson is to take responsibility for yourself. Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend emphasize that you can't control your spouse, but you can control your own actions, feelings, and choices. For example, if your partner does something that frustrates you, it's your responsibility to communicate how you feel calmly and clearly. The authors remind us that healthy boundaries start with self-awareness. Ask yourself, what are my emotional triggers? What behaviors am I tolerating that are harming my well-being? By identifying and communicating your needs, you're setting the foundation for a healthier relationship. Lesson 2. Respect your partner's freedom. Next, respect your partner's freedom. Boundaries aren't about controlling or manipulating your spouse. They're about honoring their individuality while protecting your relationship. For example, if your partner needs time alone to recharge, respect their need for personal space instead of taking it personally. Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend explain that boundaries work best when both partners feel free to make their own choices, express their feelings, and take responsibility for their actions. Lesson 3. Don't enable unhealthy behavior. Another powerful lesson from the book is to avoid enabling unhealthy behavior. Sometimes, we might tolerate hurtful or destructive actions to keep the peace. But this often leads to resentment and bigger problems down the road. Instead, set clear boundaries about what behavior is acceptable in your marriage. For example, if your partner criticizes you harshly during arguments, let them know that it's unacceptable and explain how it affects you. Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend emphasize that boundaries require courage and consistency, but they create lasting respect and trust. Lesson 4. Learn to say no. Learning to say no is another vital skill. Many couples struggle with overextending themselves, whether it's agreeing to plans they don't enjoy or tolerating behaviors that drain their emotional energy. Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend remind us that saying no isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect. Here's a simple example. If your spouse asks you to take on more responsibilities than you can handle, say something like, "I'd love to help, but I need time to recharge. Can we work on finding a compromise?" This creates a healthier balance and prevents burnout. Lesson 5. build connection through boundaries. Finally, boundaries aren't just about avoiding conflict, they're about building deeper connection. Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend explain that when both partners feel safe and respected, they're more likely to open up emotionally and work as a team. Here's a tip. Use boundaries to clarify your goals and dreams together. For example, if you're planning your future, discuss what you both need to feel fulfilled, whether it's time for family, career growth, or personal hobbies. Boundaries create clarity and strengthen emotional intimacy. So, how can you apply these lessons to your marriage? Here are 3 actionable steps. 1. Start small. Choose one area of your relationship where you feel overwhelmed or disconnected. Then, set a boundary to protect your emotional well-being, for example, by asking for more time to rest or saying no to criticism during arguments. 2. Communicate clearly. Boundaries work best when both partners understand and respect them. Use I statements to explain what you need. For example, I feel overwhelmed when we argue late at night. Can we set a boundary to talk earlier in the day? 3. Practice consistency. Boundaries aren't one-time fixes. They're habits that require patience and persistence. Stick to your boundaries and encourage your spouse to do the same. Boundaries in Marriage is a powerful guide to building healthy, respectful relationships. Remember, boundaries aren't about shutting your partner out. They're about creating a safe space for love, trust, and emotional connection. By taking responsibility for yourself, respecting your partner's freedom, and communicating clearly, you can transform your marriage and grow closer than ever. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more relationship tips. And tell me in the comments, what's one boundary you'd like to set in your marriage? Let's start the conversation. See you in the next video.